When I tell you I got this press release email earlier and literally screamed, it has been one historic day in the Emerald City. Oh my god, hey! Welcome back to my Stagey YouTube channel. If you are seeing my face for the first time, hello! My name is Mickey Joe and I am obsessed with all things theatre. And this is my Stagey YouTube channel, where I review shows that I have been invited to go and see here in the UK as an independent theatre critic, and I also talk about important theatre news and gossip and drama happening worldwide. And today, that means I am going to be talking to you about Wicked, which I'm wearing on my t-shirt here. I'm wearing my lovely Wicked London t-shirt. Chistery is hanging out in the background because it is a historic day in Oz. The West End production of Wicked has just announced its next cast, who will be taking over on the 7th of March 2023, and with this announcement they have made Wicked history. Now Wicked has been running for a very long time on Broadway in the West End. It has toured nationally in the US and the UK. It has toured internationally. It is now reaching that age as a musical where non-replica productions are popping up. There was recently a non-replica production of Wicked in Germany. That is to say, it did not use the original direction, the original costuming. It was very, very different. All of this is to say that Wicked has been around for a long time, so it's getting difficult to make Wicked history, but that has now happened. Because the next UK cast of Wicked is going to feature a trio of fantastic black performers in the show's leading roles. And by leading roles, I'm talking, of course, about Elphaba, Glinda, and Fiyero. I know there are other principal characters in the show who I am considering to be supporting roles, with the usual leading versus supporting split that, like, the Tony Award categories would honour. But I am so pleased about this. It has been a long time coming. There has been so much history and recently so much momentum to have black performers cast in these roles. I was going to make a reel about this today because I've recently been using my Instagram and TikTok pages, both at Mickey Joe Theatre, to make short reel content based on theatre news that I don't really want to spend an extended amount of time talking about on YouTube. But then I thought, no, this deserves a lot more said about it, and there are so many more things that I want to say about it. So I am going to be talking to you at length about this casting. Who are these performers? What shows have they done before? Why am I so excited to see them in these roles? And why is it so important? Because this casting announcement is incredibly welcome, but it is also incredibly overdue, and there is a huge amount of history with Wicked on this particular issue. We're going to unpack all of that today. Now, before I get into it, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you're subscribed to my Stagey YouTube channel. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends who also love Wicked, which I assume is everyone, because who doesn't love Wicked? Come on now, be serious. Also, if you really enjoy this video, you can use the super thanks button down below to give me a little cash tip as a Stagey content creator. It really helps me to make more of these videos on a regular basis. Huge thanks to everyone who has donated so far. It is a huge help. Also, if you use other social media platforms, make sure you go and find me on there. I am at Mickey Joe Theatre on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Now let's talk about Wicked! So I want to start by talking about Alexia Khadime, the West End's next Elphaba. Alexia is going to be replacing Lucy Jones in the role. Lucy will have played Elphaba for an entire year at that point, which is a long time by most musical standards, but not necessarily in terms of the amount of time that people usually stay with Wicked, so that's quite interesting. But for Alexia, this is also a homecoming because she has played the role before. Alexia first played Elphaba in the West End over a decade ago when she replaced Kerry Ellis to be the UK's third ever principal Elphaba. Did I just say principal? She has returned to the role before, so this will be the third time that Alexia is playing Elphaba here in the UK. And when she first played Elphaba, she also became the first black actress to get to play the role full-time. There have been other actresses of colour who have played the role as an understudy or as a standby, but Alexia, I believe to date, is the only black actress, certainly in the West End or Broadway productions. I may stand corrected here in the comment section, but I believe the only black actress to have played the role full-time. That is up until the casting of Cynthia Erivo in the Wicked film. Now, there is a huge reason why it seems conspicuous that there haven't been more black actresses who have played the role of Elphaba. First of all, there are so many actresses who would be fantastic in this role, who could absolutely act it, who could absolutely sing it, my god. But not only that, Elphaba's whole deal is that she is othered by society because of the colour of her skin, because she is green. The themes of social ostracization and people making assumptions about her and her being unfairly vilified by people in positions of power, these resonate hugely with the black community. And while I think acting is acting, I think definitely when you have a unique perspective on these kinds of themes and these kind of issues, it will make your performance better. The best performances are the ones that are not necessarily completely real, but certainly authentic. Equally, there is no good reason why Elphaba can't be played by an actress of colour, because they all get painted green anyway. So why have there been so few actresses of colour cast in this role in all of the productions we've had worldwide? When you consider how many Elphabas there have been, there is a suspicious lack of black actresses in that list. Now, Alexia is continuing a tradition of Elphabas returning to the show. We've seen this plenty of times. Rachel Tucker has returned to the show, Kerry Ellis has returned to this show, and now Alexia has joined the illustrious group of actresses to have played Elphaba multiple times in the same production. And I'm really excited. I never got to see her the first time around. It was between Wicked visits for me. I saw it for the first time in 2006, and then not again until 2010, by which point Alexia had left the show for the first time. So I am very enthusiastic to get to finally see her in this role. I have heard some very exciting things. I also think with Alexia specifically that a lot of theatre fans have short memories, and I am glad that she has been cast in this role at this moment. Not only is she a brilliant talent that speaks for itself, she was wowing audiences recently in The Prince of Egypt, but also she was the first black Elphaba here in the UK, and if they were to cast another black actress opposite Lucy St. Louis, I just know that there would be a lot of teenage fans to be like, wow, the first black Elphaba in the UK, and people need to learn and people need to respect that Alexia Khadime shattered that glass ceiling. She deserves this platform, she deserves to be honoured in this way as the first black Elphaba. And like I said, other actresses have been able to return to the show years later. I'm glad that Alexia is also having that opportunity. Because just the other day, I was literally saying to Aaron, what is Alexia Khadime doing at the moment? I need more Alexia Khadime in my life. And now I'm going to get it. Maybe I'm magical. I hadn't considered this. Now, while I do think that it's really important for Elphaba to be cast as a black actress and for that door to be open to black actresses because of the themes of that character and how it resonates with that character, I do also think that when we're considering diverse casting, it shouldn't be exclusively about roles that black performers have a unique perspective on. I think all doors should be open to all performers, and that includes roles exactly like Glinda. So for the longest time, Glinda, in terms of the casting breakdown, was only ever really available to white actresses, specifically blonde white actresses. You could be a brunette and play Glinda, but you would have to wear a wig. Glinda was a blonde, white, ditzy, upper-class girl, and we all have our perception of what that is. It's the Elle Woods problem all over again. But just like the Regent's Park Open Air Theatre production of Legally Blonde showed us that Elle Woods can look like anyone, can be a black actress, can be a plus-size actress, Wicked on Broadway made history when they cast Brittany Johnson as an understudy in the role of Glinda. And she's still blonde, because guess what? Black women can be blonde as well. It's as simple as taking that same blonde wig you were going to give to a white actress and putting it on a black actress's head. It turns out it is that simple. Brittany Johnson subsequently took over the role of Glinda full-time and will soon be leaving the production, but before she leaves the production, she will have permanently shattered this glass ceiling and opened this door to black actresses everywhere, including Lucy St. Louis, who recently made history herself as the first principal black Christine in The Phantom of the Opera here in the UK. Lucy will be leaving The Phantom of the Opera to go into Wicked, playing Glinda. She has a beautiful voice. She is a wonderful performer. I'm so excited to see her in this role. I'm so excited for UK audiences to have not only a black Glinda, but a black Glinda and Elphaba pairing. I think there is such power in that. There is such visibility and representation in that. That is going to mean so much to so many audience members. Also, as a fun fact that I just learned moments ago, Alexia Khadime and Lucy St. Louis have performed together on stage before. They were both in the original cast of the Book of Mormon. Now, Alexia Khadime played the original Nabelungi here in the UK, and Lucy St. Louis was in the ensemble, which is a huge waste of her talents, and I am so happy that she has risen to the echelons that she has as this renowned West End leading lady. Now, the West End production of Wicked came under fire after lockdown. I think during lockdown, we as a theatre community had a lot of very important conversations about casting and about diversity and about representation for non-white performers. And then when Wicked reopened after lockdown, they came under fire from fans for the cast that they were reopening with. Now, this was the cast that had been contracted to perform in the show pre-lockdown, so they hadn't yet been able to implement changes based on those important conversations. And Wicked London acknowledged this and promised that they would be taking a step forward in diversity at their next recasting stage. And when that news eventually came, there were more black performers in the cast. Gary Wilmot was cast as the Wizard, and Ryan Reid was cast as Fiyero. And while I do think that there was still a certain amount of frustration from many fans that we still had two white actresses playing Elphaba and Glinda, casting a black man as Fiyero is also another huge step forward for this production, because again, over the illustrious history of Wicked, there have been suspiciously few black actors in this role, especially considering that one of the first actors ever to play Fiyero, Taye Diggs, who joined the show as an emergency replacement because he was romantically linked at the time to the show star Idina Menzel, was a black actor. So for us to have had predominantly white actors ever since, I think exclusively white actors in the West End production, unless, again, I am forgetting someone. There have been a lot of Fiyeros and a lot of covers over the years. Please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. Adam Garcia, Oliver Thompson, Jeremy Taylor, Lee Mead, Lewis Bradley, bunch of guys off the TV. But once again, there is no good reason for us not to cast a black actor in this role. There has been this issue with theatre that black men are not positioned and are not seen in these romantic interest roles, especially when that character is from a privileged high-class background. Because this is another issue that I see often, and I'm being incredibly candid here, but there are many classic shows that when they are trying to diversify their casts, will cast a black man in a poorer role, a downtrodden role, a lower class role. He can be Enjolras in Les Mis, but they wouldn't necessarily cast him as Marius, because Marius is a romantic lead. Or he can be Judd Fry in Oklahoma, but he can't be Curly. When I'm mentioning those shows, I'm not targeting any specific casts or specific productions. It's just a trend that I have been seeing in theatre. So I think having a black Fiyero is also a really important step. A lot of people wanted Jordan Fisher to be cast in the Wicked movie for him to be a black Fiyero. I've never read the books, but I'm given to understand that Gregory Maguire makes some description of Fiyero that would lead you to believe that he is actually a person of colour within the context of the Wicked novel. So I think Ryan Reid in this role is another really important piece of casting. So with Ryan staying on to complete this trio of brilliant black performers in these roles, I think is such an important and such a powerful statement. Now, Gary Wilmot has left the production as the Wizard. He will not be staying on at this time, but it does show you within the past year, so many different roles in Wicked have been cast with black performers, just to show you that all of these doors are open, that they are willing to cast black performers and non-white performers in all of these roles. I think it's brilliant progress. The next step that Wicked needs to take as a show is to platform and to cast performers from even more different backgrounds. Now, currently, one of the covers for Elphaba in the West End in the current cast is Nicola Espelado, whose name I have probably just butchered. I'm very sorry. But I have heard great things about her. I believe she is currently the second cover Elphaba, and I have my suspicions that she may be being promoted to first cover Elphaba because she is staying on in the new cast. And Nicola is among the first, if not the first, Asian actress to play the role of Elphaba. She's a Filipina actress. Certainly, I think she may be the first Asian actress to play Elphaba here in the UK. Again, correct me if I have made any sweeping statements there, but she has definitely broken some very important ground, certainly at least here in the West End production. And I'm thrilled that she's going to be staying on because it gives me more opportunities to try and see her in the next year at Wicked. I do also just want to chat to you briefly about some of the other cast members who will be joining the show. Caitlin Anderson making her West End debut as Nessa Rose. I'm not familiar with her. She's making her West End debut, but thrilled for her and thrilled that this big West End show can still offer performers that opportunity in principal roles. How exciting. Current ensemble member Joe Thompson-Albury will be playing Bok. He is currently first cover to the role of Bok, understudying Nicholas McLean. Both non-white performers, Bok probably being one of the first roles that the West End production cast with non-white performers. It's great to see that that is still happening. Sophie Louise-Dan is staying on as Madame Morrible. Mark Curry is staying on as the Wizard. I haven't seen Mark in the role, but I loved Sophie Louise-Dan when I saw the show recently. And we have some exciting names in the ensemble, including Jessica Aubrey, who I loved recently in But I'm a Cheerleader. She, I believe, is going to be understudying Nessa Rose. Love that for her. She could also be Elphaba as well. If ever they need a third cover, look no further than Jessica Aubrey in your ensemble. Ross Harmon, who was recently in Heathers and in the first cast of But I'm a Cheerleader, he's going to be going into the ensemble as well. An understudy Fiyero, I wonder? I do think. And a bunch of other exciting names, some of which I know, some of which are staying on from the current production, some of which are joining. I'm just so excited to go and see Wicked, and I feel like it's been a while since I felt this enthusiastic to go and see Wicked. I'm really excited about this direction for the show. And like I said before, I do also think this is very long overdue. I'm glad that we are finally taking this step, and I hope that this represents a door opening permanently for all of these non-white performers to play these roles. And I hope that other shows can look to Wicked as a beacon of inclusivity and diversity and opportunity. There are so many roles and so many shows that are only ever considered in one specific way. And shows like Six really blazed a trail of having this open door policy of auditioning all kinds of performers. I would love to think that this now means we're living in a time where the theatre industry can offer more opportunities to performers from all kinds of backgrounds. So those are my thoughts on today's news and next year's cast of Wicked. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Have you seen any of these performers in other shows before? What did you think about them? Who are you most looking forward to seeing in Wicked? And what does this casting mean to you? Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you're subscribed to my Stager YouTube channel, and as a reminder, you can use the super thanks button down below. I have no idea where it is, but if you click on that, you can give me a tip, and that really helps me to make regular videos as a Stagey content creator. You can also go to patreon.com/MickeyJoeTheatre, where you can gain access to some exclusive photo and video content. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!